Hey guys, okay, I'm gonna set you in my room here, Rod's little rec room. Uh, this is where I go to keep away from everybody and reloading heaven. So what I have here, got my 43 Mauser Dominion brass. You guys are saying, where does this guy find all the Dominion brass? Well, a lot of the viewers are American. This ammo is Canadian, which I am. And when I was a kid, this stuff was everywhere. It's like everybody out here had these guns. They were dirt cheap. You could pick up a 43 Mauser for like 15 bucks. My grandfather must have had 5 or 6 of the things. You know, if someone didn't have a gun, here, take the 43. Here, take this one. Here, take... Same with 303s. They were like pretty much giveaway guns. There were so many of them around here. I'm from Nova Scotia, so coastal community. A lot of guns came in and out of the country. This is how a lot of stuff landed here. But as far as this ammo, it was made in Quebec through CIL Industries. And I'll even show you, I have an original box. Bear with me here in my beautiful kingdom of clutterness. But if you don't got clutter, you ain't doing something. If you ain't doing something, well, get off your arse and do something, I guess. So we're going to do this. Check this out, guys. This is an original box. Smokeless powder. Adapted to Mauser rifles. And it says here the 385 grain bullet, 43 Mauser, model 71. Now my rifle is a 7184. There is a 71, and there is a difference. 71 rifles. Oh, just 1 second here. Oh, I thought I ran out of video footage. Get back to the Mauser. The 43 Mauser, 2 rifles, 2 variations, 2 different bore diameters. 71s came out. They have a 452 diameter bullet, like a pistol, like a 45 caliber pistol. Don't know why they call them a 43 when they're actually a 45. They're like 451, 452. The way you can tell, besides the rifles being marked, the 71s are marked a lot older, like in the 1870s. My gun, which if you just bear with me, I'll go grab it here. It's just leaning against my cabinet because I had it out today. Okay. Oops. All right. Once I get my stuff back in order, or somewhat order, I'm never really 100% organized. This is my rifle. I don't know if you guys can see it all much here. This is an actual variation of this gun. This is not a cut down gun. This is an officer's short rifle. This is a model 7184. This has got the smaller bore, 446 diameter. It's got very, very light, wide rifling. It's almost like a musket. They originally were made to shoot a smaller than bore diameter bullet, paper patched. Well, I'm a stickler. I hate paper patching. It's time consuming. It's almost unnecessary because thank God for Teflon tape. Now I'm going to show you what I do. Here is my bullet. This is an RCBS 447 diameter, right out of the mold. I don't size them, I don't lube them. I do everything for this gun by hand. I'm going to show you. This is my SPG lube. You can buy this at any places for black powder supplies or whatnot. This is what guys shoot, like the Gibbs rifles and stuff they use on their bullets. Rod uses it too. I'm going to show you. I just take the bullet here, and I just kind of mush her around. Get it in the grease grooves, you know, get her in there. Don't have to be fancy. All this does is keep leading to a minimal. So we're done with that. Now, went to my local hardware store, and Teflon tape, 79 cents a roll. And I can do a whole whack of bullets for 79 cents. Instead of sitting there with paper and water and let them dry. I can make a cartridge in 2 minutes and shoot it. So here we go. I'm going to take my Teflon tape. My fingers are a little bit kind of sticky from the SPG, so it works good. And I'll roll it like this. And then I'll give it another quick patch. And another quick patch. And I'll twist her off. Hey, check it out. I got a patch bullet. Pretty neat, eh? So now we got my scale set up right here, and I got my little Frankfurt Arsenal scales. I've had this scale probably 15 years because I've been reloading that long, and I'm not sure if you guys can, if I can put you there, if you'll see it, but you're sitting on top of my TV, by the way. So anyhow, now we have 43 Mauser Dominion brass. I know you guys down the States are going to hate me when I say that. One guy asked me, where do you get all the Dominion brass? Well, I'll show you something. This is all loaded ammo. Every bit of it is Dominion brass. That's all Dominion brass. This is all Dominion brass. And this is all Dominion brass. I scrounge the gun shows till I find it. When they see me coming, they just put it on the table because they know I'm going to buy it. And if it's reasonable, I'll buy it. And if not, usually before I leave the show, they'll holler to me and say, well, hey, if you want it for $5 or $10 or something, they'll holler to me and I'll go get it. I don't show that I'm needing all this stuff. That's the wrong thing to do. You go there like you have everything, and this is only something secondary you need. So then the price goes down after a while. They don't want to drag it home, but you do. So now I'm going to weigh my charge out, and what I'm using for powder, IMR 4198 in this load. I have been using some shot shell pistol powder loads. Now I did have a problem. I tried Red Dot, and I had a friend online tell me, use trapdoor data for 4570. He said, there is no published load data for 43 Mauser. The cartridge is that old. My gun's 125 years old. You just can't find load data readily. But 4570, even though it's old, it stayed popular. So people load for it, black powder, and you can load smokeless, whatever you want. So I seen this load for Red Dot, and I said, well, I got 4 pounds of Red Dot kicking around, and I only use it in trap loads for the shotgun. And for the sake of me going to Walmart and buying 100 rounds for $25 for the shotgun, well, what the hell am I going to do with all this Red Dot? Well, I said, well, I'm going to try and burn it in something. There's got to be something I have here that I can burn it in except a shotgun. So I did some looking. This guy tells me, use 15 grains in the 43 Mauser and use either a Dacron or toilet tissue, which I wasn't crying, guys. I use this to fill my shells. Don't tell my mother. Anyhow, 32 grains is this stuff. Here's the magic number. But getting back to the Red Dot, what happened is I went out the other day and I shot my gun, and if the case is still in here, I'm going to show you what happens when you have a headspace issue. Here we go. That was a 348 Winchester case, and that parted right off. I don't know if you guys can just see that right there. It didn't hurt me at all. It's just the gun fired, and like didn't even get any smoke blowout. Went to go extract. The head came out. This stayed in the chamber. But all I had to do was just tip the gun upside down, and it fell out. So that was okay. So I kept shooting, and I lost one of my Dominion brass too. It split on the head. I don't know if you guys can see that or notice that, but on the rim right about here I'm pointing, there's a crack. Now I got that in the face, and that wasn't pleasant. So I kept shooting, and if I can find the other one here, I think it's right here. This was the big one. This was actually a factory loaded cartridge, because I just wanted to see how the gun was going to shoot with a factory cartridge. This one split right in the rim into the primer pocket and blew the primer out, but it didn't do anything else to the gun. The cartridge is unscathed. It ejected from the gun no problem, but I had people laughing at me, and on the range nobody laughs at me. I don't call that funny. It's unfortunate. It's what it is. And they can make fun of the old gun all they want. There is nothing wrong with the gun, except there was a headspace issue. So what I did is, a friend of mine had some parts, and I went and got, well, here's the bolt I robbed the head off of. As you can see here, I took the bolt head off here and I installed it in my rifle. And it tightened up the headspace by almost like 1.5 thou. So we're going to see if that, without having to do some serious altering to my bolt in my gun, which really is head spacing, or like it's closing on face here. If this is beat up pretty bad here, you know, that bolt's going to have room to go back and forth. and that's the only locking phase, so we're just hoping that that's not the case. I don't fire the steep loads in my gun like some people do. So let's get back to loading this cartridge, because I don't know how much time I got left on this camera, and we're just going to check here. Oh, all kinds. Sorry I had to move yous. So okay, now the Yule scale here, and what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to set it here on top of my casing here on my cartridge case. Reset her back to 0, and we're looking for 32 grains, so we're going to dump her in there. And we got a little too much, so I'm going to dump her out. And as you see, this is all by hand. No big, well, I normally would use a press, but right now I'm kind of strapped. All my gear is locked in my buddy's garage. He's gone on vacation. I have no way to get at it. So I've only got a few things I can use here, and I really want to get out and shoot the gun. So we're just going to try and, there we go, 32.3. Just going to scrounge out a little bit there, and this should do it. Nope. Just a little smidge here. I don't have my powder trickler, I don't have anything, so 32 grains on the button. Take my powder, my cartridge. No funnel either. So make a little cup thingy out of my hand, and I'm just gonna dump her all in. Didn't lose a granule. All in there. Now, toilet paper. When you got a big airspace in a cartridge like this, using small powder amounts, it's kind of crucial not to have an air gap. That and black powder too. But so what I'm going to do is going to take one wipe of toilet tissue, tear it in half, then I'll fold it. Now all I use, this is a primer punch, which I use to decap these when I don't have them to press. But I seat it on top and just lightly squish her in there. Don't have to be fancy. We have that in there. And I'm going to take the other half, fold it over a few times, fill up as much as the case as I can. You don't have to use toilet tissue. You can use cornmeal. Some guys use cream of wheat and whatnot. So now, here, actually, just looking for my bullet that I had. And I just mislocated it, but I'll find it right back. Just going to tear off a little piece of tape here. It kind of gets twisted on the ends. Just going to wrap this one a bit more. Okay, now here we got my cartridge. It's charged, full of the wadding, my bullet. Now, previous to fire, or after firing these here, of course your neck's going to expand. But what I do is I do something a little funky here. Now you might say this guy's losing it, but he's not. He's thinking smart. If you take this cartridge, and you just take, this is a 308 die, and I was using this for crimp if I had my press here. You can take these and just insert them slightly in here, and this one I've already done, but as you can see there's like a little restriction there now. That's because it's already took a little bit of a, it's put a little bit of a crimp here to help that bullet seat, and with the Teflon tape patch it holds it in place really good. So here's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to take my bullet, I'm just going to weasel her in here. Sometimes it takes one try. There you go. Now, I can take my fingers